Well, hello, and welcome back to Be Like Christ. Welcome to 2 Chronicles chapter 17 Bible study today. On our outline, I'm looking at the first page, and it's rather skimpy. This might be a little bit of a shorter chapter, because there's just not a lot to introduce on the first page. So let's get into it. If you want the outline, you can download it for free on our website. And just so you know, most of our outlines are a little bit more full than this and give you a little bit more value. But let's talk about when these events happen. We're going to talk about King Jehoshaphat. I think everyone should name their son Jehoshaphat, at least one of their sons. Jehoshaphat reigned over Judah for 25 years. That reign fits within the window of 920 to 890 BC, 900 years before Jesus. And then only two main characters. We have Jehoshaphat, who's king of the southern kingdom of Judah. He took the throne after his father's death. And then Levite teachers. These are really interesting guys. Jehoshaphat selects some Levites to go all throughout the city or the territory of Judah, go to all the cities to take a book of the law with them and to teach the people God's laws, which I'm not sure that any other king ever did. So it's interesting. That's definitely a check mark in the good box for Jehoshaphat. And then we go to our map, which, again, I mean, we could say that the Levites went all throughout the territory of Judah, but as far as specific locations, pretty much we're going to be based in Jerusalem. As far as our outline today, we've got one section. There are 19 verses, and we're going to talk about Jehoshaphat's reign over Judah. After the death of King Asa, which was Jehoshaphat's father, Jehoshaphat took the throne of Judah. And God strengthened him because the text says, quote, he walked in the earlier ways of his father David. So David is always kind of the benchmark of goodness in the nation of Judah. And the good kings will often they'll be referred to as being somewhat similar to David. He followed the commands of God and he eschewed idols, I have on the outline, mostly because I just wanted to use the word eschewed. That means he rejected idols. He removed the pagan places of worship from Judah. The text says in verse 5 that his heart was courageous in the ways of the Lord. And we'll come back to that in our application section. And as I already mentioned, in his third year as king, he decided that he was going to send Levites out into the country with the book of the law, and they were going to instruct the people of Judah in what God expected from them. Because one thing that we see as we go throughout the Kings is that God's law is neglected. People aren't being taught it. Even the temple itself is being neglected at times. And so to reinstill the importance of God's law and following and being obedient to God's instructions, Jehoshaphat sends these Levites out to teach the people. We're told that the fear of God came upon the nations that surrounded Judah so that they didn't attack them. Instead, they actually brought them gifts. Nations like the Arabians and the Philistines brought gifts to Jehoshaphat, and he became very, very wealthy, and God blessed his kingdom. He fortified his cities, and he filled them with, quote, men of valor. The commanders and their companies are listed in this chapter, and I've got them listed here on the outline. I suppose I will read them. They are Abna, who commanded 300,000 men. Jehohanan commanded 280,000 men. Amasiah commanded 200,000. Eliada commanded 200,000, and Jehozabad had 180,000 men. So there's quite a large number in terms of Jehoshaphat's fighting force here. God's really blessing him, and we get through an entire chapter without talking about a king doing evil in Judah or in Israel. That's quite an accomplishment. So that is for 2 Chronicles chapter 17. Now let's talk application. I really like what the text says about Jehoshaphat's character when it says, quote, his heart was courageous in the ways of the Lord. In recent years, I've heard a lot of emphasis in the churches being given to encouraging men to developing humble hearts or servant-like hearts or gentle hearts, but not nearly as much emphasis on recommending that men develop hearts of courage. In the coming years, especially in the areas of the world where Christianity is becoming less and less popular, there will absolutely be a very obvious need for men with hearts of courage. We should, of course, practice gentleness and humility at all times, yes, but do not neglect the development of courage in your heart and in the hearts of your children. The kingdom of God needs courageous men. The types of reforms that were carried out by Jehoshaphat are only accomplished by courageous men. They're not accomplished by fearful, weak men. So we need to develop courage, and we should pray to God that he'll bless us with that courage. Thanks for joining me today for 2 Chronicles chapter 17, Lord willing. Tomorrow, chapter 18.